What's up, Kansas City? This is Max Groove with the incredible Bobby Watson, saxophonist, composer, educator, William and Mary Grant Endowed Professor of Jazz and Director of Jazz Studies at UMKC Conservatory of Music and Dance. Good afternoon, Bobby.
Good afternoon,
So glad
Max.
to have you here. This is incredible.
Thank you.
Guys, Bobby Watson's the man. I just got to be upfront about it. I've been following his career my whole life. His brother-in-law and I wrote songs together, who was another great saxophonist, and I got to know Bobby pretty intimately over the years, and I'm honored to have him here today. So welcome. Where are you from originally?
I was born in Lawrence, Kansas.
Yeah?
And then went to school in Bonner Springs. And then when I got to junior high, my father moved us to Minneapolis. So I did junior high and high school in Minneapolis. Made a lot of good friends there that are still dear friends today. And then moved back in '71, and I did 2 years at Kansas City Community College. At the old place down on State.
Yeah.
And then we were the first class in the new building out there, out on 75th.
Oh, you saw both sides of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So it was nice. And
Where'd you go to college?
after I did 2 years at JUCO, then I went to University of Miami in Florida.
Okay, so that's where you graduated from.
I graduated from University of Miami.
Did you get a doctorate or master's there? Or?
No, I did a bachelor's in music and theory and composition. And one of my teachers was Clifton Williams,
Wow.
who was a big band composer. When we were growing up, all the high schools, they played Clifton's compositions. Him and Alfred Reed, they were all down at University of Miami. So I went there for the composition and the jazz because Jerry Coker had started a jazz program down there, and they were pretty hip. Pat Metheny actually went down there a year before me, and he was telling me about it because I was going to go to North Texas, and he said, "Bobby, you need to check out Miami." You know,
Well, that's funny. That's most of the really cats go to North Texas.
Yeah, especially from the Midwest,
Yeah.
you know. But Miami, they had this scene down there, and Jocko, I met Jocko. He was down there, and I went to school with Bruce Hornsby and Gil Goldstein.
Players,
all the cats were down there, and they had a scene. You know, you could gig. I bought my first tuxedo, and was working on the beach, Miami Beach.
Hey, that's
doing
excellent.
shows, and our teachers were working and gigging. They were like first call.
Oh, so okay. Well, that's a good scene happening
It
down
was
there.
very good, yeah.
Well, that got you situated for where you are now, man.
Yeah, I met Curtis Lundy down there.
Well, you've played with some great names. I know you take your own band out and you tour, but you also play with some other greats.
Yeah, I got a chance. Well, Art Blakey gave me my start into the big leagues with the Jazz Messengers. And then I played with Louis Hayes and George Coleman. I've done some work for Bill Cosby on a couple of his records that he put out back in the day. I don't remember now.
Well, there's been
right
so
now,
many of them.
and Betty Carter, you know, it's just, you know, I was a part of the scene, you know. It was a family, fraternity, village.
You lived up in New York, right?
Yeah, I was there for 25 years.
25 years. How long have you been back in Kansas City?
14, going on 15.
Is that when you took over Director of Jazz?
Yeah, in 2000.
In 2000? Okay. Man, that was quite a scene. Everybody was stoked to see you come back, man.
I was stoked.
Real.
I was stoked to be back. You know,
get out of New York, I bet.
Well, it was time. I mean, I was working every day. I mean, working was no problem. It was just things reach a critical mass, and then sometimes you need to disappear so you can reappear.
That's right.
You know? So I think that's really what was about for me. I had to get off the treadmill because I was working too much, and I couldn't. You had to have a little air of mystery, and they have to miss you. You know? So this was a great thing to get out of the hustle that I was in and come here and settle down and get health insurance and, you know.
All the things musicians don't have.
Yeah, back then, yeah, now, you know, now we got Obamacare, but
yeah, that's
been a big blessing. But, you know, raised my family with no health insurance, and we did all kinds of things with the system that were there to help people to raise our kids in terms of their health and different things. I was on food stamps for a while,
We all have to,
it was
gotta
like
survive,
I
man.
dealt with it. The Medicaid, that's paid for my kids being born, and but we were very blessed, and my kids still live in New York. They're still there.
Okay.
They wouldn't leave New York to go to heaven, man.
Well, that's
They just love it.
Oh,
They love it.
That's good.
They
New York-
love coming home,
New York's a happening space.
Oh, I still
It's
love
just,
New York.
It's
I love New York.
for me. I'm from the Midwest. It's just overwhelming at times.
Oh,
Either coast, man. That traffic
Yeah.
drives me out.
yeah.
I can't deal with it. You can't have a car in New York.
I never owned a car.
Yeah.
I only rented a car. And during those 25 years, I'd rent a car and I would go out to Washington or Baltimore or Philly or wherever I went. I'd drive the car. And then when I got back to New York, I'd turn it in. And so this went on for like 25 years. And when I got to Kansas City, I bought my first car. I was like 46 years old. And they were like, what? You never owned a car? And then I started having little fender benders, see? Because I thought I was under the illusion, man, that I was a great driver because I never had an accident in 25 years, but I didn't own a car, Once you own a car, you hit a little scratch here, a little bump there, and, mainly self-inflicted,
Sure do. What are you doing now? I were listening to one of your current CDs. Why don't you tell us about that?
Well, it's Check Cashing Day is the latest one, and that came out in 2013, and it's got spoken word on it. Glenn North, the poet in residence here on 18th and Vine, he's on it, and the late Horace Washington is on it.
My buddy.
And Karita Carter,
Yeah.
Tim's sister's on it, and Pam's on it. She wrote a couple tunes, and
How cool to be with your wife and family to make records.
it was nice.
What an honor.
Yeah, it's about the 50th anniversary of the March on Washington, and what Dr. King was saying is that they came to Washington to cash a 100-year-old check that America had written, that it came up insufficient funds. So that was in his "I Have a Dream" speech, but you don't hear that part of the speech. I think on the day of the speech they played the whole speech, but usually you just hear the part where it's "I have a dream," and that's the part they listen. But
That's the hook.
but leading up to that, and that was spontaneous. That was just off the cuff. He had done that "I Have a Dream" part 10 times before, and he'd been working on it.
Yeah.
And Mahalia Jackson said, "Tell him about the dream, Martin," because he had his script was about the serious stuff, about working conditions and then the rest of that speech is actually copyrighted. He copyrighted that, and you cannot hear or you cannot see the entire speech because it's copyrighted under the King estate. But you can see the "I Have a Dream" part. But they played the whole speech that day, and you can see the text online. You can find the text of it. It's pretty heavy.
Really very
Yeah.
intense.
So that we wanted to do a tribute, but we didn't want to just do the "I Have a Dream" part because everybody does that.
No, you had to get to the gritty of it.
Yeah, I want to get to the gritty of it. Yeah. So there's spoken word on it, and there's.
Well, I've heard this CD, and then I've heard an interview with you talking about. I just think it's well produced, man.
Thank you.
It's got a real nice message far out, man. And
Thank you.
it's from Kansas City right now. You know what I'm
You
saying?
know what I'm saying?
Now, what do you got going on in the future? What's up? I know you're leaving town. You got a small tour going on?
Yeah, a little tour, a little mini tour, 8 days.
That took a year to make, to
the
set
year to
up.
put together. Yeah.
I know. That's rough. Music is different now.
It is.
It's a lot harder to get the big shows and get out there
Yeah, it is.
as much as we did.
Yeah.
But you're you've got such a stellar reputation. Well, you do,
Depends on
man.
who you talk to.
Hey, we're talking to me.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I know you to have a stellar
Yeah.
reputation,
Thank
and
you.
you just jam it out everywhere you go. I know you work with the kids. You're doing things down here on 18th and Vine, which is just an incredible area. People, you need to come out and support all of 18th and Vine.
Absolutely.
So, do you have a new CD? Something?
I'm working on another one. Still writing. Waiting to start working on my wife Pam. We did an opera. She wrote an opera.
Wow.
while we were in New York, and it was premiered in New York at City College, and it's called The Meeting. It's based off of a Langston Hughes short story, and so now she's revamping it, rewriting it, tweaking it, putting it into Finale, which is a music notation software, and I'm gonna rescore it for a smaller ensemble. So hopefully in the next year or so that'll get going.
That'll be nice, especially if you put it out somewhere.
Yeah, it's a very wonderful piece, and just trying to write and keep playing, keep the horn on my face, and
Man,
just keep it rolling,
we sat in together at a friend of ours party.
Yeah.
That was a great piano, wasn't that?
Oh
Right?
man, that was
1892
incredible.
Steinway. That was jamming, man. I had a great time with you on that.
Yeah, same here.
Man, and it's such an honor. You do so much with the kids and of our community and helping them learn more about, well, not only life and music, but jazz.
Yeah, I mean, the jazz education we're trying to do is orientate them to the 21st century, because their life and their life experience and the way I came up through the music doesn't exist anymore.
It sure doesn't.
But their opportunities haven't been created, so they have to be ready. And I have like a lot of students who are doing pre-med, psychology. They're doing a mixture of things to keep the music in their life. So it's like, for me, I was a hardcore jazz musician, but these kids, there's so many opportunities, computer programming, I mean, all kinds of things that I don't even know about, that they'll have an opportunity to hopefully have a stable life and keep music in their life. So it won't be, the jazz musician of the 21st century will look different than it did when I was
What a
coming up.
shame, man, because I personally haven't had a day job since '73, and I've been a full-time musician.
Yeah.
And I've really been doing jazz, original jazz, especially since '80.
Yeah.
So, and we just don't, I don't see any full-time musicians anymore that are of the younger kids.
No,
Everybody's branching out because they all have to make money. You can't make quite the living we did.
No.
As we're finding out right
And
now.
they even had the hotel, Holiday Inn, man. I know Cassie used to play the Holiday Inn and Ramada Inn circuit.
Oh, that's that.
They would play them all over the country.
That's right.
The lounges in the hotels.
Yeah.
They'd be on tour for months just playing Holiday Inns.
I was one of them. I
So
was
it's
one
like,
of them, man.
yeah.
The hotels don't support any live music
Oh
like
no,
that.
it's gone.
No.
And forget about New Year's Eve. On New Year's Eve, every musician had a gig on New Year's Eve.
Everybody.
Everybody had a gig, all the time. Now it's not the case.
Nothing worse than sitting at home on New Year's Eve.
I don't mind it.
I do. I want to go out and play, man. I want to play 7 nights a week.
I don't mind playing 7 nights a week.
For a while anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Bobby, this is outstanding.
Thank you.
I'm just so honored you came in. I hope we can do this again and get you
Well,
back up here.
I appreciate
What's
it.
up, Kansas City?
What's up, Kansas City?
We got Bobby Watson. Thank you so much for coming
Thank you,
in, sir.
You're welcome.
It's
I'm
been
hip
a
now.
real- Yeah, man.
I'm hip now. I
All
got
right.
it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right.
We good.
Anything you